this is Jules Valenti, and you're listening to the Movie Rate Show.
It's time for the movie raid, and tonight's victim is actress Jules Teresa, is currently in Friday the 13th Vengeance. Hello.
Hey, Mike. Thanks for having me on the show.
So is this your first actual big production compared to your past projects?
For me personally, yeah, this is probably one of the biggest projects that I've been a part of. I've got a lot of hats in this film. I'm actually a producer. I'm an actress. I do the marketing and the script supervisor, newly appointed. So this is a really, really big deal for me. I'm super passionate about it. And like I said, yeah, this is definitely the biggest project I've been a part of in so many aspects. So I'm really stoked and really looking forward to it. It's going to be a great film.
Now, having that you mentioned that you do all these things like the script supervisors, are these things that kind of burn you out the most? I mean, is the acting pretty much what really drives you to do this?
Well, the biggest driving factor, yes, I would say the acting part of it is super exciting. I'm really driven about that because of probably because of the character that I play. My character's name is Deputy Alice Brooker, named after Alice from the first movie, The First Final Girl, and Brooker after Richard Brooker, who played Jason in Friday the 13th Part 3, who passed away. So my character's kind of an atonement to him, but also she's a deputy, and, you know, being military and being a military police officer, I have a lot of drive in that field in my professional aspect. So acting out a character who's like that is a big drive for me. But also, more than anything, marketing. What my master's degree is in. So I love marketing. It's my passion. It's my drive. So those are two of the biggest parts of it that mean the most to me in regards to what drives me in this film.
Have you done part of the marketing for this film as well, or are you just pretty much just straight up promoting it?
I've done a lot of marketing. Myself and Peter Anthony, we make a good team. We've been promoting the film together. We do social media postings. We've done a couple contests and stuff like that. So we try to keep it fun. In the beginning, when we both came on board, we came up with a lot of cool, fun contests that really raised the hype. And now that we're getting close to filming, Peter and I are always coming up with creative ways to keep the hype going. So yeah, we've been part of the marketing team for a while now, and we love seeing all these positive results. We've noticed, like, we'll post certain pictures and get people hyped. We're starting to post some behind-the-scenes photos people really seem to like, and it gets us excited to see people excited about our production.
You think some of these independent films, I think that's where the biggest problem is, like, trying to get it marketed out there, aside from trying to get distributed, trying to get the money for it, but it can be pretty difficult just promoting. I mean, there's a big difference between marketing it and just promoting it. I mean, sure, you can say something about it, but as far as marketing it, trying to get others invested into it. I mean, trying to get other associates involved within the film, trying to get other maybe fans even put money into it, and so forth.
Right, exactly. And how I view it is anybody can, you know, put together a little photo collage and put up a poster and post it somewhere. That's promoting. But marketing takes a lot of heart and a lot of time, and you really have to believe in stuff that you're marketing. So like I said, going back to the poster thing, anybody knows how to work even a typewriter or Microsoft Word or whatever system you're working on. Oh, come see our film. It's going to be at this theater at this date and this time. Woohoo, we're promoting. But when you're marketing something, if you don't believe in it, you're not going to succeed. And that's one thing I've learned, you know, through my college classes and just through peers from other jobs I've had in marketing. So you really, really, really have to believe in something if you want it to work, you know. Not exaggerating, all our great leaders who have said this, but anything's possible if you do believe it. So you got to believe in yourself, you got to believe in your film, you got to believe in your peers. So that's what really drives a good marketing campaign. You know, we're going to be at New Jersey HorrorCon coming up in March, and I'm really looking forward to that. We're going to be there marketing our film, and we've got a great group of cast members that are flying out on their own dime just to be there because we believe in this film. And hopefully when people see that we're truly passionate about it, and it's going to go over so well.
How far is the process on this? I know it's starting to get into filming, but I noticed that the cast is just keep growing and growing and growing like every week.
We do have our cast growing. So this past weekend, all the producers, we got together and we did a script overhaul from Nick Strawn. I know you've had him on your show before, Nightmare on Elm Street, really great guy. We did a complete script overhaul with him. We threw in our Kickstarter characters into the script, so all our people who bought packages in the Kickstarter, now they have established characters. So the cast is growing constantly. We've got some great cast members. So as far as the process goes, we do have a couple things filmed. In November, we were actually, myself, Jason Brooks, and Dustin Monsier, our director of photography, we were in Florida filming with Steve Dash, before he unfortunately passed away. But yeah, so we do have some footage done. We're getting ready to ramp up some filming again. So that's going to start. We're going to kick up production, actual physical production again in March. So super excited for it. We're just getting all our final cast announcements out there and a couple of behind-the-scenes photos. Sean Lucius and his company are building our set right now, and they're doing a phenomenal job. Like, I don't know if you've seen the photos, people can see them on our Facebook page. It's coming together so nicely. So hopefully fans will appreciate the look we're going for. It's going to be fantastic. We've got some great A-list people here helping us out and coming together. So we've really become a family. And I'm not just saying that. I know people say that about their film sets, but I truly believe, like, this is a family. We're so connected, and I really, really love it. So the process is coming along, and that's because of all the great people we have working together.
Yeah, and that's also kind of rare, too, because you're having actors. Everybody who's anybody within this project is doing their part within the production, within the marketing, within the building. Everybody's everybody. It's not just actors and film crew. It's not a separate thing. You guys are all working together, and I think that lacks in a lot of these independent films. I mean, I understand they want to get the film out, they want to do this and this. It's not just foreign investors into this film. I mean, you guys are actually working together on this, not just with the parts and everything else with it.
Oh yeah, and that goes beyond what's going on with production. Like, this cast is fantastic. So, like, all of us playing in the sheriff's department for the film, we have our own little group chat, and we talk about some fun stuff in there, and we talk about production and things we think are going to make the film better. And then again, I've talked to a lot of the actors and actresses. We all really have come together because, again, like I said before, if you don't believe in something, you're not going to achieve it, and it's not going to succeed. And there's not been a single cast member that hasn't been excited or hyped or said how much they believe in this. And we have a lot of fans on our fan page talking about the camaraderie that they see between the cast members. Like, people will see, like, Jason posting something on the Facebook page, and then I'll respond with something fun to Jason, and then, like, another cast member will say something, and people will say, wow, this is a really tight-knit cast. They're really going to make this work. They really care about this film. So just like you said, whether you're Jeremy Brown, the director, or, you're one of the Kickstarter extras, you're part of a family, and that's what's really going to make this film come together. I mean, we're all in this together. We're all stuck together. It's fantastic, just like you said. One question we were wondering is, are people going to say the mini teaser is too short for a Kickstarter launch? And we all talked about that. We're like, is this too short? Is it going to go over well? People are going to see this clip, and what are they going to think? And it actually got a very positive response. Jeremy Brown and Dustin Montier were the ones that picked the music for it, and their vision was, what would Jason's mother probably be listening to, that would make him come out of that lake? So the reason why the song is The World on Fire, which is what they have on there, is because, this song is supposed to represent, if Jason were home, because, Jason was raised by his mother, he'd probably be listening to something like this on the radio. And so there comes Jason out of the lake, and it cuts to the black, but all of a sudden you see Jason there lifting this gigantic boulder, and people screaming, the gore sound and stuff like that. People were so excited just to see Jason Brooks just standing there like, hey, Jason's back. We had a very successful Kickstarter campaign. We met our goal in, I think, half the time, which was overwhelmingly amazing. Our fans have been so fantastic, whether it's a $10 perk or $500 perk, whatever perk they got. Oh my God, we are so blown away and so incredibly touched. And there are many people who said fan films are going to fail, but that was just, and hearing that, it was in the back of our minds, and that was hurtful. We beat the odds, and our fans came through, and with the day that Jason Brooks told me we hit our goal, I almost cried because I was so excited, because it's like, all right, we hit our goal, now what's next? So next step, filming with Steve Dash is what we went to next. So, and Steve was so excited when we told him we met our Kickstarter goal, because he was all about Banner Children's Hospital and about this film succeeding. Yeah, it's been overwhelmingly amazing. We could not be more thankful to all the fans out there. They've been Friday the 13th fans in general, not just Vengeance fans. But Friday the 13th, as you know, is a very close-knit community. So we are so grateful to everybody for believing in us.
With your part in this film, playing as an authority type of role, especially when you have experience within this type of like law enforcement or military background, how do you focus on the role without making it seem protocol from what you used to be in the service?
Alice, Deputy Booker, when I spoke to Mike Mees, who wrote the script and created the character, I asked him, that was the very first question I asked him before I went to filming with Steve. I asked him, how do you see Alice? How do you see Deputy Booker? How is she portrayed in your mind? And he said that she's the do good by the book, do what she's told, whatever the sheriff puts out, you have to follow it. And I was like, okay, what about her personality? What is she like? And he's like, he's just, very straightforward to the point. And I'm like, okay. And me, in regards to the military, I'm a captain now, so I do have to go by the book. So there are some differences between Alice and how my character is, who I am when I put a military uniform on. So, how I differentiate, I'm a military police officer. I'm not an actual police officer, so that's a bit different. Being in the military and being a real police officer are a little bit different. So, and she's a deputy, too. When I'm thinking of what Alice would do, I would talk to Steve Dash about it, and I even asked Steve Dash when I was on set with him. I'm like, how do you think Deputy Brooker would be? And he's just like, just do you. Alice and I have very similar personality traits, but like I said to you before, military police officer and deputies are a bit different. Military, there's guidelines that I have to follow. With Alice, being a deputy, it's all situational dependent. All these murders are happening again. How is she going to handle it? Is she going to do the right thing, or is she going to try to cover it up like the cops in past Brad 13 films have been doing? She's trying to do the right thing, and it's not that I don't do the right thing in the military all the time, but in the military, there's no boundaries. I have to do everything. But Alex, she's kind of just like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? I'm unsure. Do I listen to the sheriff? Do I follow my heart? Do I do this? Alice is a bit unsure of herself. Looking forward to portraying that character just because, she's a lot of fun. I can't say too much about what she does. She's going to be a lot of fun to play for sure. And one thing you're going to notice about my character, Deputy Brooker, is when I have a military uniform on, I got to be not almost robotic, but I got to be I guess you could say kind of robotic, here's the orders, I'm going to follow them. With Alice, she does have a heart and she does have feelings. She does have some characteristics about her that aren't, stone cold deputy. She's got a lot going on in her mind with the conflict with everything that's going on. As you read in our synopsis from our Kickstarter, it talks about all the grisly murders. Alice, she knows that she's got to do her duties at the same time. She's a little nervous and scared about what's going on. I mean, who wouldn't be if there's a supposed 6'5" gigantic killer walking through the woods when little Alice is only 5'3" running through the woods trying to make things happen. So yeah, she does have some character. She does have a couple of layers to her, which I'm looking forward to portraying. I love my character. She's great.
Now, do you feel like this character is a more advanced for you compared to any other role that you've ever performed?
I do, because she's my biggest speaking role for sure in a film. Growing up, I was in high school and college, I was involved in theater, and, there were times when I would audition for a role and I wouldn't get it. And, I would get down, and even if it was just a small part, it was hurtful. So it took me a little bit to get into the world of acting. And then one day we were doing a play, Scrooge, and they were like, you have good movements. You want to be the ghost of Christmas yet to come. And you don't have any lines. The ghost of Christmas yet to come. You just pretty much walk around and point and stuff like that. It's a very method character. I started doing that, and then I auditioned for, it was Grease, and I played Rizzo, so that was fun. And then I kind of just from there finally found my bliss and started getting more involved in these acting roles in theater. But my brother is a film major, and he does a lot of film projects, and the one day he was like, hey, Jules, I need somebody to pretend to be a waitress. Can you do that? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So I started getting comfortable in front of the camera like that, just being a waitress in the background, taking orders and stuff like that. And then small, minor things, maybe a line or two here or there. But then it got to the point where my brother started, for his senior thesis, he's like, okay, I need to do a really intense film. How do you feel about going through a window? And I'm like, I'm sorry? And he's like, how do you feel about going through a window? I'm like, okay, sure. I mean, I did Taekwondo. I'm in the Army. I guess I can give it a go. So, and it was candy glass, and it was a lot of fun. That was my first real stunt, was going through a window. And then from then on, his friends would say, okay, if Jules is willing to go through that, maybe we could have her double for a fight scene. So I kind of put the acting stuff on hold and got more involved in stunts because, it was more physical. I spent 12 years doing Taekwondo. I got to finally exercise that, and it was great. So Alice is definitely my biggest speaking role in regards to a film, which is very different from theater. I love it. I love the script. All of her lines are great. Yes, she's my biggest so far, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. We're doing a good job with her. I'm so excited, and it's going to be so fantastic.
Now, with Vengeance, what do you think the audience is going to be more attentive to, the roles or the storyline?
Oh, absolutely the storyline. Just because this is part 6, Jason Lives, was a big hit with everybody. Tom McLaughlin did a phenomenal job with that script. and not just the script, but just the little hints, the James Bond style opening that C.J. Graham keeps talking about, and all the other little hints, and the army duty belt that C.J. was wearing. Everybody talks about Part 6, and it's a favorite. Our film's taking place 30 years after Part 6, so it's like, what happened to Tommy Jarvis? What happened to Jason? He was left at the bottom of the lake. Where'd Tommy go? What happened to him and Megan get married? Like, all these kinds of questions. And who the heck is Elias Voorhees? Unless you read the comics, you probably don't know who Elias is. Elias is Jason's father. I think a bit of both. I think people are going to be very attentive to the Elias character, because not just because C.J. Graham's playing him, but because he's an unknown entity in the Friday the 13th universe to so many people. So I think that's a character people are absolutely going to be paying attention to. I think people are absolutely going to be paying attention to Kelly, who plays Angelica in the film, Tommy's daughter. I think people are going to be paying attention to Steve Dash, who plays Sheriff Riolotti. And again, not just because of Steve Dash, but the way that character is written in this film it's a great add-on to the story. But more than anything, I definitely do think the story is going to be, and then the biggest part of that being because it's after Jason lives, where did everybody go? So, and we're very honored and happy to be in that question. And Tom McLaughlin's our story consultant. He had a big part in this. It's going to be a great story.
Yeah, and I absolutely love Jason Lives. That is my favorite out of the whole series.
Mine too. Mine too.
It's fantastic. Dude, I love, even the behavior is slightly different on this one. I can go on with this film, but I'll just say that I love the way it's portrayed in this one, because it's a little bit of a breather compared to all the other ones. It's not really straightforward, so to speak, from all the past ones. Like I said, this is more focused on Tommy Jarvis. Like, now he's so psychologically messed up, and he wants revenge, and, well, we all see what happened there. He pretty much, yeah. Yeah, so,
he messed up.
Yeah, he messed up, and they did a fantastic job with the makeup work. It's great. I love the way Jason Voorhees looks in this film. It's fantastic, and with Vengeance, that's another big thing. Detail is incredibly important. They've actually, from what I've seen, it definitely looks really good. Jason looks just like what he is. He's decayed. He's got these bullet wounds on his skin. Like, it looks like this guy has been in through like a million battles.
Oh yeah, and Jason Brooks is fantastic. He's a fantastic Jason. I watched him do an interview with Steve Dash when we were in Florida, and I watched his interview with C.J. Graham, and it was like almost these two guys are passing the torch onto Jason. And Jason Brooks, 6'5", really tall guy. He's really all about this character. He's very attentive to the detail. He's watched all the Friday the 13th films. He's watched some behind-the-scenes footage. He's really dedicated to making this character, what it is. He weathered the Jason costumes. He's very, very attentive to detail. And I think we all know that going into this, people are going to be looking at Jason saying, how does Jason look now, and all these things. So, we know people are going to be paying attention to stuff like that, like you said, the little details. So we're really making sure, we know people are going to be looking at Vengeance and, watching us, looking for those details, looking to see how we carry on this story that Tom McLaughlin laid out so beautifully. So we know that people are going to be looking at that, and I have full faith in my team, and especially Jason Brooks is Jason. He's going to kill it. He's going to do an amazing job.
We have actual fan questions, believe it or not.
Okay.
So, first one is by Kimberly Ryan. It says, who are you looking forward to working with the most in Friday the 13th Vengeance?
Who am I looking forward to working with the most in Friday the 13th Vengeance? Well, I already worked with Steve Dash, and that was fantastic. But I guess who am I looking forward to with the most? I would have to say for sure Sanaya Lusif. I'm looking forward to working with her. She's definitely an up-and-coming great actress, so I'm looking forward to working with her. And also looking forward to working with my partner, Ray Hopper, who's Deputy Tucker in the film. Ray's really great guy, great actor. So yeah, definitely looking forward to working with him. We have some great scenes together that are going to be quite fantastic. And yeah, Sanaya. So Ray and Sanaya, they're both going to be so great, and it's going to be a great time on set. So I would say those two.
Now, you did mention a little bit about Steve Dash a little bit earlier, but Kimberly
also asks, you got to be in the scene where Friday legend Steve Dash. What was it like? Do you have any on-set stories?
So the first part of that question, Kim, is it was very empowering and very rewarding to be working on set with Steve Dash. This is his last film, and I was the last person to work with him on screen, and it was just very empowering. I was extremely nervous, and I think he knew that. And I've seen him at conventions, and I've seen his panels, and I've seen how, rough and, witty he can be with people. But in that moment when I was on set with him, he had this, almost fatherly look to his face, and he's just like, Jules, you got this. You you're a military police officer in real life. Don't be nervous. We're just having a conversation, and he really walked me through it. We rehearsed the lines a couple times before we actually shot it, and it was just, once we were done filming the scene with him, I was like, wow, I was just in a scene with Steve Dash, the first adult Jason. As far as the stories on set go, we filmed at two different sheriff's departments when we were in Florida. We filmed at the Green Cove Police Department, and we filmed at the Baker County Sheriff's Office. And there was one time in particular, we were on the set with the sheriff, and we were all taking a break and stuff like that. And Steve, being Steve, he's like, all right, I'm going to go to the bathroom. So he goes into the bathroom, and I guess he didn't lock the door. So the sheriff came in to check and see how we were doing, and he's like, all right. So he went to go to the bathroom, and he went to open the door, and I guess Steve didn't lock the door, and Jason's like, Jason Brooks was on set. He's like, wait. And then, the sheriff opened the door. He got this look on his face, slammed the door shut, and literally ran out of the office. And, 10 seconds later, Steve comes walking out of the bathroom. He's like, I guess I forgot to lock the bathroom door. And he just walked behind the desk and was just, acting like nothing happened. But then also, there's a scene where I was filming with Steve, and as I was exiting the set, kind of running away from Steve, I tripped over the lighting wires, and it was the whole classiest moment of my life. And Steve starts laughing. He's like, are you all right? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. He's like, all right, I can start laughing again. And then he started laughing again. So it was a great on-set camaraderie. I had a phenomenal time with Steve, and I wouldn't take that back or trade that for anything. It was just so rewarding. And we got to stay at Steve's house, me, Jason, and Dustin, and it was so great. It was a great time. He treated us like family. We went out to dinner with him and lunch. We filmed a scene at my aunt's house in Florida, and it was so great. Really, really rewarding experience overall working with Steve.
And this one is from Alexi Angelino, and since you have a history of playing cosplay, she says, what's your favorite character to cosplay?
Oh, man. Well, first of all, Alexi is fantastic. Her and Sean are both fantastic. They've both dedicated so much to this film, so I want to take a second to thank them for that. They're great people, her and Sean. As far as my favorite cosplay character, well, I've got over 50 costumes, so I'll give her my top 3. So my first favorite to cosplay would be my Hawk Girl, from the DC Comics, because I wear these big wings, and it's so much fun. Little kids really love seeing the wings, and they want to come up and touch the wings and stuff like that, which my dad and I made. They're 5 feet on either side, so I have a 10-foot wingspan, so it's very hard walking through a convention floor with the sun, but it's so worth it when the kids like it. I would say my second favorite is probably my Ghost Rider, Gender Bent Ghost Rider cosplay, because the makeup and all that stuff, I think it's a lot of fun. It takes a lot to put together, but I love it. And my third favorite, it's really a tie between Elsa from Frozen, because that's what I wear when I go visit kids in the hospital, Children's Hospital Philadelphia over here, and my Harley Quinn. And the reason why I love my Harley Quinn so much is just because she's just kind of nuts, and I can just run around and just say and do whatever dressed as Harley, and people are just like, she's Harley Quinn. She's a Harley Quinn cosplayer. But yeah, those are my top 3, but I guess if I had to pick one, Hawk Girl would be my overall number 1 favorite, just because, the wings, and I get to carry around a little sword, and it's great. So I love cosplaying Hawk Girl. She's a lot of fun. She's a very serious character, but the costume build itself is fantastic.
Go ahead and plug in anything that you want to plug in, any websites, any release dates, and so forth and so forth.
So Vengeance is going to be released at the end of May, early June 2019, so in a couple months for sure. Also, so check out our F-13 Vengeance fan page for sure. We're going to be posting a lot of updates up there. Also, check out His Name Was Jason, a Friday the 13th fan film. That's another film I've been casted in. I play the waitress in that film, the town waitress, so that's a good one. But yeah, if anybody wants to follow me on social media, my social media is Jules_Hawkin, Hawkin. Occasionally, if you're looking for a good food recipe, I'll post some food recipes in my stories, because, who doesn't love some yummy food recipes on a snowy day like we're going to have in Philly all next week. So I'll probably be posting a lot of food recipes if anyone wants to check those out.
Well, you imagine after Vengeance, you make pizza?
Yes, I should come up with a Vengeance-themed pizza. Now that's going to be my thing. I'm going to come up with a Vengeance-themed pizza. It's going to be great.
Yeah. And Jason Brooks, you're going to stay off of it, because we know that I can see this guy could eat like a truck, probably.
Yeah, that was the thing when we were in Florida. Steve Dash kept joking with us about. He kept making fun of me and Jason because Jason and I kept eating like all the steaks and all the chicken because Jason's 6'5", which he needs that food. But I'm training for being a bodybuilder, so like I do a lot of intense workouts, so I eat pretty much anything and everything and all of it. And then Dustin wasn't eating a whole lot, so Steve's like, I don't understand how is this like a thing? And we're like, just he was making fun of us for our eating habits, and it was funny because he was easily entertained, and I'm glad we could entertain him with our eating habits for sure. So yeah, but yeah, Vengeance Pizza. I gotta go with the Vengeance Theme Pizza now. That's gonna be my task this week.
Yes, do it.
There you have it, everybody. That is actress Jules Teresa.
Bye guys. Thank you, Mike.